Where we at?
Page 3, salary description, facilities.
Facilities 3.
Building and facilities.
So that first line is because Eric's budget is split between those two departments.
Basically, 50% of what we saw in the public works
And then the second pay grade adjustment is for job duty description change for our current permit administrator to become the CRS coordinator.
Actually, the second is, CRS is the third one. The second
For
one
the second,
is deputy building official, which is Chris.
but that's put in as an experience increase, not a base, like, that's not a full pay grade change.
Right. Oh, okay, so you're not gonna talk about.
Well, you can talk, yeah. I was just going first for like the pay grade adjustment. So first Eric, which is split, and then second, a pay grade adjustment for the Amber. CRS program is the program that gets everyone on the island 40 or 35%.
35%.
35% discount on their flood insurance. And that's kind of been split between all of the folks in the building department. The last few years, Amber's been consolidating her management of that process for our annual and every 5-year big audits. She's also been certified now as a certified floodplain manager. So now all 3 of you are floodplain managers, right?
And our rate just got better, right?
And we're trying for, our big goal is on our next, every 3 years, we audit it again with a more intense audit. We're trying to knock another level if we can. We were very, very, very close this last quarter.
And how many more people in the country have higher ratings than us? Only 70.
In the state, there's only like one other one you said.
Yeah,
There's
I think in the
countries.
country it's like 17. We're top. And so what you see here is kind of a rearrangement of the building department. It's hard to call it the building department because Eric does so many things. So as Eric migrates up into infrastructure, capital project management, some of the flood stuff goes down to Amber. And so she'll become the CRS coordinator and the deputy floodplain administrator. And then Chris will pick up some additional duties too.
Yeah, my goal for
Chris's
him is
duties.
to make him the lead on all the facilities, that we have, building contracts, repairs.
And the reason they're in different columns is because Eric's and Amber's, when we rescored them, it changed their pay grade. Chris's, it just moved him up in his current pay grade.
Go back to the flood stuff, it's difficult for people to realize because rates continue to go up. That they would just go up even higher if it wasn't for your efforts. We tell people all the time, we're like one of the top 18 in the flood stuff, and we should be getting the very best rates. Well, we are, it's just that those rates continue to go up like Lee was worth.
Just like gas prices, it seems like.
I have more of a personnel question. So as Amber continues to grow and develop, which is wonderful, and steps up, then that means less time on the front desk or picking up phones or, you know, some of the issues that we talked about earlier today.
That was the plan.
This is
early
part
on.
of the front desk clerk to relieve some of the pressure for Amber to be at the front desk all the time.
Which is called, whatever it was, payable. It's all,
Accounts receivable.
okay, so that's just that one position, it's accounts receivable that's gonna cover that.
It'll help with the customer service there.
Okay, so that's another reason you're gonna redo the job description and rewrite it and include,
It's to allow her to back off from the front window.
yeah, she's gonna have to leave it.
That was one of the driving forces in doing some of this stuff too.
Okay, so then.
Better utilization of trained employees.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, I support it, I just am returning it back to the payable that didn't have any reference to, you know, the customer service.
But definitely, Amber moving up and stepping away depends on that position being a front desk person.
That's what I mean, thank you.
And then the code enforcement officer, that's Carla, she's due for an experience increase, and we've got a retention incentive in there as a placeholder. When she gets her certification, it should be any day now. She won't get it until she gets her certification. And then that last one is a partial salary for Sam Peters, who also works in the utilities department. He does all our playground inspections and walk-up inspections every week and every other week. Park Christmas lighting and decorations, that's to allow us to, this year we got 2 soldiers in the train, we're gonna try for a couple more pieces next year.
We're talking about repairs and maintenance in regard to.
I think we'll go down the, well, that was the question we had, the waste playground in there is gonna have to be repaired. Does that need to go under Parks and Playground R&M?
We have that under, capital, I believe, because it's a amount of money. It's under capital, it's the last line on capital.
The reason why I asked is because we're doing the master plan for Parks and Recreation, and I was wondering if we're gonna have any money to implement anything that the master plan might come up, or is the master plan just gonna be like the design phase, and then we budget for execution next year?
I feel like it's mostly, in my mind, it's more the design phase now, and then we have something to budget for, but
Yeah.
So if we have to repair this one, where's that money, do we have some money in there?
this one, we have 12,000 in for repair at Wave Watch,
Uh-huh.
that structure.
What
That's in
page
capital.
is that on that you're referring to?
Page 7?
Is that enough for that structure?
Oh, no, we're trying to scramble to get a price on it now, and I've got one due this weekend, from the first contractor, to see where it falls out. It may or may not be enough.
It just seems low, that's all.
And the parks master plan isn't necessarily focused on maintenance issues. I mean, it's gonna be a component of it, but that's more, do we have adequate parks? What types of parks do we need? The specific parks that we have, what functions do they serve? What functions should they serve? What improvements need to be made? So it's broader than just this.
But certainly they're gonna make some recommendations for
Yeah.
adding a
Sure.
nature path, or adding,
Oh,
clearing the right of way, and
Yes,
it would
sir.
seem like it might be smart to have some money for some execution of some of the low-hanging fruit of that plan in this budget.
What you
So, Mr. Folly, I have one question about that. So, Horace Park, we've been talking, okay. Can anyone like point in here for the execution, regardless of those 2 conversations for Horace Park? Is it in the budget? Okay, so that,
I don't have a target for even price right
yeah, so that is an example.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see
now. I'd say we can't.
something done there. Well, we do have a plan, don't we?
Yes, we have a plan, we've met on it,
And she presented
she
it.
presented it to us.
months ago.
And,
We have a line item for Parks and Rec Reserve. I mean, it's not funded right now, so I mean,
if you had to ballpark, like Orange Park, you think it's like 50, you think it's like 100?
Horace,
The whole thing with the elevated wooden paths?
no, the
Just
first, no, the
initial
first
path?
phase, the first phase of just the first phase of Horace Park, not the second phase that was presented.
I have to get back to you, I don't really have it memorized, but
Benches.
10,000.
Okay, you did do, the numbers are there somewhere for Horace, first phase.
Yeah,
We can pull that up and figure it out.
put 20 in there just for, to get something done. I mean, we got Orange 2 years ago, didn't we? And
Well, we started about 5,
was it that long
I
we
mean-
acquired that property?
oh, to try to get that property back, to make sure it was
I don't want to
clean.
just sit on it. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
to spend money.
Cut some grass or something like that.
To your point for that Wave Watch, I don't think it would be a bad idea to set up to 15 or 18, and
Bill,
just, I don't know a number yet.
That's way too low.
It's becoming more expensive every minute that goes by.
So to that point, if we fix Wave Watch and we put 20 or what, we're looking at like 40,
Yeah,
that we'd have to put in for Parks and Rec.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just the
What's the-
number.
And
For
when
the
we
line
do it,
items.
can we pull that from, is that what a reserve, I mean, so where would that come from?
That's the point, we gotta figure out where we want to take out.
How much do we have in reserve for Parks and Rec?
Like 8, yeah.
8, so we need 12.
Well, 8 would get the play structure up to 20, if you wanted 8 there.
8 and 8, 16.
I mean, that would get that line item a little bumped up, and then
Bump up the reserve and then bump up the repairs and maintenance to fix Wave Watch.
in our capital. for this.
Either that or you go later on to facilities and you decide you don't want storage for $20,000 at the community center. And we haven't even discussed some of those other projects that could be an option,
I think you just add 20 in
okay?
for Ori's and Parks and Recreation, capital to be named later.
And then we can deal with what you're talking about.
Then we just find.
Whatever you want.
No, then we can get to it and make that decision.
Okay.
Right now, we got, so if we had 20 right now, Lee, to this, what would our number be right now standing?
So you're adding 20 to an existing line that already has 12,000, so that would be an additional 8,000?
Well,
No,
8,000's coming from
No,
reserve, right?
8,000's coming from,
Yeah, so he's gonna use the 8,000 to make Wave Park more realistic.
So
not
We're
too
thinking
fast.
it's gonna take more than 8,000.
But he's got 12, right?
Yeah, there's 12 in there.
Okay.
You add 8, that's 20. I think that should give us
So the 8 out of reserve covers
the capital line item.
capital for Wave Watch. And we're just saying add 20 for work to be done at Ori's and or other projects.
TBD.
Right.
Pending Park and Rec recommendation.
Yeah,
You want that 20 to go in the reserve account.
That way we could go ahead and get started or something.
that way it's flexible. I mean, we
Do
can
you
use
wanna
it.
put it in just a normal budget instead of reserve account?
I know, I heard him say both.
I'd rather put it in the normal budget.
I have no, I just want the money.
Yeah.
You decide.
And so if we had money for history museum, where's that gonna come from?
That's already the storage unit for the,
No, just the history museum.
would
That's
that have to
been,
be added?
yeah.
Lee, $8,000 from reserve,
Yes,
so that's not a,
it is a balance out.
yeah.
It's actually $8,300.
Well, there you go.
Oh, keep it
My name
And
was-
then the new line item, TBD Park projects, of 20,
Where's that going to go?
in capital.
Okay. I guess it's.
Don't forget that revenue for $8,000.
Yes.
Oh, let Lee catch up, so they, it's important he catches.
$8,000 in Parks and Rec reserve. And
You
then,
want-
in capital, or use the whole thing.
No, just use A. I thought that's what it said.
Use 83.
Oh, use A3?
So that'll zero out that reserve.
Did you wash your hands?
And then,
I only have Ponto wires, don't worry about it.
Dump road.
Yeah, that's easy. Don't worry, it's not transmissible. See, you said you want that.
Right on TBD. Parks project.
While you were gone, Doc, we raised parking.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
Just let you know.
Speaking of parking, I don't know the
Balance the
appropriate
budget.
time.
Not now.
Not yet.
Not, we
No,
haven't-
I'm gonna go somewhere else.
we haven't gotten there yet.
I'm gonna go somewhere else. But I wanna ask, the mayor, have we given any more thought to the conversation, you and I had about, parking cameras and, like
Oh.
identifying spaces available and giving people an idea of where to park on the island without complaining about, the Arctic is covered up and all that.
Not in this budget, but I mean, I've been looking at all those kind of technologies.
Okay,
They're not cheap, so.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like when they put them in parking garages, or wherever, how do they
So-
count? They can count that somehow.
what they do on Isle Palms, because I did their app too, is they actually have their parking people count the spaces that are available on like Palm Boulevard. and stuff.
Manually put it in there? Oh, that's not good.
Well, they're out there, so they give a full count and it's updated like every hour.
We don't have that kind of.
That's just, I'm just saying that was the cheap way, huh?
The other ones are lasers wound up on the power
It's
poles.
either labor intensive or technology
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah, yeah, you can't do it either. But it, yeah, those laser stuff and all that, but a lot of that stuff is for parking decks. So
65,000.
you'd have to almost do like a proof of concept in some of our,
27.
line of sight, that kind of stuff.
So is that something we can consider designing for next fiscal year?
We can look into it.
I mean, we can always not do it.
Are we ready?
All right, yep, so that last chain puts us 65K roughly in the negative. Does that include the rollover for the parking thing?
And that,
All right, so important, for the plans from last year, does that include the rollover revenue to offset?
It does
30K?
not, no.
Okay, so take that 65 negative back, we're actually about 30 in the positive because there's $95,000 in this year's budget for the Parks and Rec master plan and the
Yep.
comp plan that we're not gonna spend. and we're gonna roll over to next year.
And
And right now, we're up.
I got 30 to spend.
30,000.
And,
I mean, we-
and
we
just
have
so I can
numbers.
follow that, Mr. Pope, and the reason for that is prior to this meeting, we already knew this, so we had that sort of there sitting.
Yeah, it just hadn't been entered into this.
It hadn't been
spreadsheet.
entered.
And let me ask one last question, just for clarification. So that does include if we take 100,000 off for free parking somewhere on the island?
And that includes the reduction in revenue of paid parking by 100,000.
Okay, so, yeah. So what we're gonna do?
Don't worry, Don.
Well, if we're, I know that it's your time, but, and it does include, what all that I wanna know at the end of the day is how many holidays it includes at the end of the day.
Yeah, so when we get done, we want to go through every numerical change and then ask you guys for the remaining policy changes that would make a numerical change, what the consensus is.
Great. Love it.
I think we're getting close.
On the, page 5, the operating supplies.
Oh, history museums, you say you wanted to.
I did want to get some other issues in, so,
I think, I mean, I don't wanna say, but if we could go through the capital,
yeah.
then there would be something along,
Where could we, where would that be on your side?
It would go, what is it? Is it something structural from the history
Is
museum?
it like,
Operation,
Yeah, I think it's just operational, like cameras and software and that type of thing.
oh, it's not fun. Oh.
This is for, they needed some software updates for the kiosks and some other.
right? Second screen or something, right?
I don't know.
Am I right, John?
IT somewhere?
Remember?
Which is different than in capital, close-in back porch area at community center for tables and
This
chairs.
is, yeah, this was a specific
covered.
request that's come in for the history museum. So
so,
that's up to us to figure out if we want to fund them.
well, it depends, is this for software for them to use?
Yeah.
Or is it?
It would
so
be
in that
for-
case, it would just be a straight up donation to the
Yeah.
history museum.
It
wouldn't
would
be-
not be any kind of capital improvement to that facility. It's more for their operational.
And we have all the documentation, we know the exact specifics, we, so on and so forth, like,
She was very clear in the email
I
about
read
what
that.
they're gonna
Has
do.
she, you know they have money, have they gone to the community promotions committee?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
year?
I'm not-
They went to TVPC.
They have not been to the community promotions yet. They're thinking about it. I don't know if they will before the end of this fiscal.
That could be,
to be honest with you, midstream in this process, I actually don't feel comfortable introducing that into the conversation right now. So there is remaining money in this year's budget for their community
CPC.
promotions. It's consistently been $2,000 less, you know, that they haven't spent, there's a place to go there. And then I don't
I'm
see-
fine with that. It's the first time we got a request was like this week. The other side of it is that I know Richard was involved with it, so that was kind of thrown for a loop. The other side though, to your point, Catherine, I think we do have some money and flexibility in the middle of the year. If they say, hey, we want to buy X, then the city might could help out. I mean,
Okay,
I think that's really fair.
I do.
Because if we open the door, everybody could be jamming in now, saying, what about this project?
I'm open to helping them, but I mean. we can
I'd like
do
to hear
that.
your
There's flexibility.
So I actually was on the phone with Regina the other day, and I advised her that, you know, there's a lot of sensitivity around not-for-profit intervention and things like that. The city's been slowly drawing some pretty finite lines on their
Right.
involvement. And I said, your best bet is approach the community promotion committee, that's what they're there for. They've got actually some excess funds this year, if you can get to them fast enough before June hits, you have access to that. And next year, I said, if you really wanna pitch it to council, you know, they've had the CCP, the community promotions has had a consistent budget over a number of years. It's been underspent, but you
Yep.
could make your case where, you know, if the History Society had like a pretty big ask coming up, maybe let them know about it and they could add to the community promotions budget for their ability to react to that, so.
You know I agree with you, Lee.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be a thing, like if you wanted to add, if History said we're gonna come with a $5,000 ask next year, maybe add $4,000 or
Like one
$5,000.
time,
Then we
one
figure out what
time,
they get from A-Tax and.
And so they have to be real careful because their mission is twofold, right? So they've got one that does have some tourism effects and they're tracking all the data and all that kind of stuff. But the other half, which is pretty significant, is the local aspect of it, the community stories. There's certain community outreach things that they do. some of the cataloging they're doing, the artifacts they're preserving and things like that. You have to be real careful because do they really relate to tourism, right? And a lot of it's no.
Well, we
So-
had 500 residents that went, but the rest were people, and all they gotta do is show how many of those people came from 50 miles or more.
They do,
Correct.
They do.
Correct. I couldn't agree with you more, because that was my advisement to them, is that they've collected the data, we've read it, they come from, it's an international thing now. It's beyond 50 miles, so I directed them to those two areas.
And she's pursuing those, but just, you know, just so you're aware that they do struggle with the other half of their mission, right? Of certain things that don't relate to tourism, that they're trying to grow. You know, do they wanna bring on a actual paid docent because they're having trouble getting volunteers? Does that really relate to tourism per se? It's whether,
Are they breaking downstream and growing the footprint as well?
There's nowhere
They
to.
can't.
I don't know where they go
They
either, I'm just
don't.
asking the question, is there a place?
No, in the
they're actually trying to grow their digital footprint. a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, that's,
Cataloging and all that kind of stuff's becoming a big thing for them.
I'm fine to wait and do like,
If we can be flexible enough to have some ability to help them down the road, I'm fine with it.
I agree.
So we put a number.
If you wanted to go to stay on capital, do we want to switch back to, we're going to stay on
We
capital.
want to,
Stand
sorry,
Fine with
sorry.
you.
So, does that translate into you guys want to increase the CPC budget next year to allow a ask from the History Museum, or are we?
Not presently, I'm not inclined to do that.
All right.
Just be flexible.
It could come out of some discretionary thing.
yeah, somebody make some decision. I mean, there's no sense in not spending some money if it's available.
Well, I mean,
I
maybe
don't,
not,
I don't have like a specific, they just threw out a number, so
Yeah.
that was
Okay,
kind of
I see.
I mean, we're midstream, so,
We're at the end of the street.
Well,
Well,
it
no,
came
I-
right at the end of the
no,
stream
I
when we
mean,
read
yeah,
that.
we are at the end of the stream, the ask was mid, so,
Let's just pass and then we'll help them out if we have to somehow. Okay.
You want to stick with page 7 for now, or go back to the,
Catherine, Jim, more questions
oh,
on capital?
1.7? Oh, yeah, I do. Are we doing page 7,
you
capital?
said you wanted to do capital
I mean, if
first.
you all wanna do it,
That's fine, let's do it.
are we,
All right, first one's clam farm
Yeah.
storage lot, for 250, that was a knockdown from $1 million, to get us at least a usable, clean, and safe parking pad and maintenance area, that does not include any kind of structure,
Is that a purchase or?
vertical structure, that would be, we own it. This is for the concrete, we gotta do a 6-inch slab.
The goal is to make that a little bit more operationally viable for the, right now it's just not used to its full potential. What was the initial ask?
It's about $1 million.
So we took it down all the way here just to get that slab. Going to Bill's question earlier, we could utilize the slab to build some kind of structure down the road, so it's not like do this, dig it up, start fresh, so.
Right, we're not gonna
Yeah.
have a sacrificial slab, we don't want permanent.
Yeah, like the slab would have to have a foundation underneath it on
We'll make sure we can
the
build on
weight
top of it.
supporting, but.
And when was this identified as a priority?
Several
It's
years
number one.
ago.
Or no,
No,
it's
it
number
was-
3.
Yeah, so I mean.
Or no, it's in the second tier.
Yeah, so we're kinda at the point now where either fund it or we just like, is this still a
It
priority?
was, it was, it was the second
This is a
tier.
great start.
Yeah.
It gives us utilization now, and it also is at least a half step towards completion.
Yeah.
It was a
And can
could
we-
do, not a must do.
and can we say what it's going to be utilized, just for myself and
The
the
public safety, public works, storage, and
Vehicles and that type of.
we don't have a good spot to do maintenance right now with anything, especially our
Okay, so
bigger.
it really is, it's not functioning, no employees are going to be there, it's
No, no, no.
strictly,
It's just a
strictly what it
place.
says on this budget,
Basically a
storage.
laydown yard.
So once, let's just say 5 years from now, we decide that storage has, whatever, gone away. Is the structure that's gonna go in, could it become office space then? Could it become other things?
We're not going anything but a slab right now.
But yeah,
The
it could be
potential is
anything.
there.
It could be
You
anything.
can reuse that slab.
So that's what I just wanna
Yeah,
make
yeah.
clear, sky's the limit.
We could
Got
go an
it.
office building on top.
Basically build a foundation and.
Perfect.
We can put whatever.
And we need 250 to start, perfect.
Next one is the new generator for public safety. That is a pretty high priority for us. That current one went in 2010,
Mhm.
so it's 16 years old and it's falling apart. This will get us to natural gas, like this building, which is a lot more reliable, safer year round. You don't have to constantly bring in fuel for the tank. And that is a good number. We have a state contract for it. That HVAC in the fire station, that's actually should be in the firehouse, but that's in the quarters area, the kitchen. We've been having problems with that. And we have an engineer, Chris met with an engineer out here, and we have a design concept. Part of the problem is the old system. The current system feeds the downstairs space and some of the storage areas, and those two need to be separated, and we need to put mini split system in the upstairs living quarters area.
Is the mold dampness, is that addressed? Or does this address it?
That addresses the dampness problem we've been having. We've got a pretty good concept from the mechanical engineer to do it. And there's the close-in of the community center back porch area for storage for tables and chairs.
Okay, that one I do have questions on.
We do have one proposal so far, and it's under that budget number.
Okay, so, and I completely say up front, I have a bias, I lived in that building for 5 years, watched certain things happen, there's a museum and there's this beautiful patio out back that could be utilized. Are we saying that patio could be storage? Like what, like, and
This is
what?
that entrance, that second entrance exit foyer area adjacent to the history museum.
Correct.
It's covered right now, there's one bench in the library, and sometimes you go out there and sometimes.
Yeah, but we haven't done much with that space, and originally, the history that I have, that was supposed to then lead right out to that nice park, and that's all part of the park and recreation, and there was a concept, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, when working on Shadow Race, that like that, we could have broadened that whole back space. So if we are going to take it for storage, for what exact chairs? The chairs that are in the community center?
The problem we're getting, the complaints are from a lot of Heather's classes and events that happen,
Those,
plus the mix with the library. We
Yeah.
have to have a certain number of tables and chairs, and we don't have anywhere to put them. They're stuck in front of the sprinkler system and blocking up the area
Right.
by the kitchen.
right.
It's a
There's-
constant.
There's
So-
yellow stackable ones, there's blue stackable ones, they go in the corner, and it's a shared space now where you have to negotiate it.
And a lot more use. We're having more use in that building than we've ever had.
Right. I
It's
honestly,
been a long time.
It's a good thing.
There's somebody in there every single day now.
well, and I think that that's great, but I think that taking that back, I don't support for storage. Is there another way to solve the sharing of the space?
Are y'all talking about the same space? Are you talking about out the back door or the back door of the museum? Like, are you talking about the kitchen back door?
Are you talking, which back door are you
It's
talking?
adjacent to the museum.
The
new
back
addition.
left, as you're looking at it, the very back left corner. right?
Not the
Be
door
the
from the
back.
kitchen.
No, I'm talking about the patio space, are
So
you
the-
talking?
The history museum took up 3/4 of the old patio.
I got it.
And then adjacent to that, in the building, when you're looking toward the history museum, it's that door on the right.
Yep.
And it's covered right now with a roof, and it's just a concrete slab and you walk out.
So,
It's
let me make sure I
It's
got
not,
this.
it's not your space.
It's not in the memorial garden area,
No,
or
It's
whatever.
not your space.
It's not my space, you can have it for storage because it's actually more like, yeah.
It's,
I-
it's kind of
It's
a dead
unused
spot.
corner.
right now.
It's unused, it's an
It's
unused
unused
corner.
right now.
It's
We
an,
had to put a camera in there because we'd find a bum sleeping in there every other night.
Whoa.
It's kind of
oh, great. So we still have a patio that can go out to the garden?
We have a path that can go from the kitchen right to the garden, all that space is still usable.
And is it, it's gonna be AC or climate control, I guess.
Is it that brown
No.
patio we're talking
It
about?
wasn't the plan.
Yeah, that's some,
Yeah.
I think there might be some. You're talking about exiting the main room out to the garden, not going through the kitchen to get to the back.
Correct.
There won't be an exit on that
There
that
won't be
back
an-
corner anymore.
Okay, I thought we had to have the exit.
No, we don't. We meet the occupancy. This was Dennis's design. We've checked all the codes on
We
it.
don't have to have the.
We actually have 3 points of egress right now,
I got you, okay.
and we are protected by sprinklers.
Welcome aboard.
Oh,
Thanks for
don't-
joining the party.
so we could, I thought we always had to have that, okay. I had a different rule in my head.
We have pricing in for radio upgrades. I think we got, Andrew helped us get that number, but that's something that's coming down the pipe. I don't know how to speak to it the way you do, but you said we had to change, either upgrade the radios or change the programming or something this year coming up. Is that still a valid number, or do we need to
I mean, the number's valid.
I mean, can we keep using our radios one more year the way they are, or we need to change it? We might be able to drop that.
I mean, I believe you can use them, it's just long, if you have any that are older that need to be replaced. But
Right now, we're in okay shape.
That's what we
As long
ran
as
into
they're not gonna
before
go out of
with the-
service in this fiscal year. So we can actually, drop that number if you want to save
They
it.
plan to replace one or two, and
No, they're relatively.
how many radios are in there?
We have 3 in this area that we're in.
Drop it down to one.
That way if one breaks, you got something.
Right.
I think you can take that number for this year.
Oh, really? So what's the
We've
whole
got
number?
18,000.
Alright, drop it to 0?
Yep.
Not like one replacement in case.
Yeah.
I better leave
No,
some in
which one?
there.
Which
Something will
one?
happen. Somebody will run over one.
Eric, we did 2,500 for just a
Well,
replacement.
I mean, I can fix the radio out of repair money, not capital money. If we get down to that level, we're below the capital threshold.
Okay,
Maybe back up to the.
alright, so that's a negative 18 then.
And then I think we need to drop the next line too, unless I'm missing something, because we're paying for the AED at the park already.
Kind of issues, but.
So I think we can save 15.
Yeah. We've done that.
You need to come more often.
Are you padding this budget so you can look at it?
No, I'm shrinking it.
Just keep it up.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking, you're padding it so you can shrink it.
Yeah.
he's magnanimously cutting that.
Throw down.
So the Wave Watch,
We already bumped that up.
yeah,
We said
so
we could bump
just,
that up.
just for clarity for everyone,
So I didn't save that much money.
so the Wave Watch ended up at what?
20.
3,300.
Yeah.
Are we okay with the pirate park?
Yes.
They just.
Just rebuilt that whole
I know,
shit.
because I know we're missing one of those little dolphin swingy things.
We decided not to replace it.
That's what I'm saying, can we replace some, because you got one left. I mean,
For those.
Nobody seems to be missing it.
He broke it.
I'm not
You've
one that
been
broke it,
swinging, Billy.
but-
He broke it.
But when you get multiple kids in there, and you can only have one, I mean, it's just a fun, not that I've ridden on them.
Well, it sounded like it.
Sounds just like
I
it.
watch the kids play on those things all the time.
How much is that?
I think that actually they're pretty expensive as well.
They are, I mean, because you gotta,
It's a couple $1,000.
I'll let Parks and Rec, the review or the comprehensive plan decide if they should be replaced with something else.
That would be like way down.
We could put a couple grand in there.
I mean, if you wanted to have it for the summer or
Or let the
something
Parks and
like that.
Recreation Committee get together and decide, okay, here, we're missing one of these, do we replace it with like, or is there something else
Well,
that's
let's not,
better?
should we just put some money in there and go back to
that's what I'm
Parks and
saying,
Rec?
just have the money there. in
They
case-
say, hey, you
I
got,
think they used to have 3 of them there. And I think
You got
there was 3, and
$5,000
they
prioritized.
slowly going one by
They
one.
don't, you can't even get.
And even
consider
replace the
anymore.
one that you got, because it's, you know, eventually it's gonna break, I mean, so.
But keep it in capital, or do we add it to the repairs?
If it's less than 10,000, it just becomes an operating or an R&M thing.
Like 3,000 in operating, or
see,
5,000?
3 would
Is
do
that
it.
what the going rate is, $3 grand for a dolphin?
I have no idea, but
Oh,
I think
you wanna
it's,
put,
So-
That may,
they're
So,
expensive.
just so I can explain, we didn't do repairs, we did operating, where we're gonna put it. Why is that? Just so I can follow it.
So my capitalization threshold for the city is $10,000.
There you go.
That's what.
Put 5 in.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
That's what I'm
She
saying.
didn't- she didn't say about capital.
Yeah,
She understands it's not going to capitalize it, going to operating and not repairs.
that's
Oh,
what,
well, it's totally off. It kind of.
it's a preference, like you could
Because
re,
you're honest,
So
it
we-
doesn't matter.
it doesn't,
put
as long as
5
it
in
doesn't,
for the pirate cove or whatever.
because it's really, it's not repairing it, we're buying it.
yeah, we'll add
And then we could just say to the Parks and Rec people, you got 5,000, figure out how you want
yeah,
it.
Replace the dolphin,
yeah, there's been a request for the golf,
put Billy's name
Billy's golf.
Please don't.
That's all. Put your likeness on there?
I want his name on
I get
on. I
jealous.
got the slide.
Excellent.
We're gonna name the slide you.
The
Yeah.
Farley slide, yeah, Billy Dawson.
And that was Pirates Cove.
Pirates
Go
Cove,
for it,
right now,
slippery slope.
Just put a neon sign with flashing lights.
Can you read the next line item for me?
Where, it has no money? Oh.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. That's been installed though, right? Yeah. The fans, the big fans,
Oh, yeah, that's going in about a week.
a week, yeah, that'd be nice.
Contracts, we went up on the Center Street flower pot maintenance contract. I don't know if you want to explain that one. believe, but that contract hadn't gone up in many, many years. When Center Street's redone, it covers Liz Turner and her company to maintain all the beautiful flowers out there.
Yep.
Down Center Street.
Would that also include watering the new palms?
I believe, yes, I can't swear to that.
I mean, I can see, I mean, it's a big jump, but if it's not just the plants and it ends up being kind of helping these new palms out, it certainly is extra work.
We might be able to negotiate that. It's not.
And I know in our new design, we're gonna have water features. Is that included?
Those are like rain gardens.
Rain garden, will they be,
They're designed that you don't water them.
what?
We don't water those.
Right.
I know that, but there's gotta be some maintenance to that
Well,
somewhere.
yeah, there's definitely.
Who does that? Will they do that as well, or is that?
Again, that'll be something we have to negotiate, I'm sure. We'll have to do some in-house, I think, and some,
Well,
So that contract's not really,
it's not defined for the
Yeah.
news.
can you put that in there with this new dollar amount though, just to,
Cover
I
it.
mean, ask them why
at
you're
least
doing it.
doing the palms.
So
Yeah.
there's,
So the first line, sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
for the rain gardens in particular, the first year, plant maintenance, they shouldn't be, they're designed, but trash litter pickup kind of maintenance, I don't think they do that. Who does that now? Not Center Street?
Probably.
We don't have any rain gardens
Yeah.
yet.
No, but
these-
litter on Center
But
Street.
these
Most of
plants
it's
do
lit-
die
lit-
and they do, there'll be foliage frozen when they freeze, it's gonna require some maintenance for that.
So,
I think
so,
that's why we plan on looking at it in year one and trying to figure out what that next budget year line item's gonna be.
and that's why we went up, right? Didn't we say we were
That
going?
was, this is for the current contract.
I know.
She hadn't gone up in like 8 years or 10 years.
Oh, so, yes.
But could you
Mr.
add that to
Grooms.
the contract?
I would at least have the palm trees.
My ask for
I
it.
think the first year would be palm tree watering, and the second year wasn't.
I agree, you're right.
And then the custodial, you guys just heard the other night what we're doing there. We're putting it back out for bid because it's gonna come in right.
Eric, do you think we can get it back down to this number?
I was gonna
mean,
say,
that bid was twice
With
that.
55,
Yeah, that number's based on an offer that is still good. They missed the deadline to bid the contract. So when we put it back out, that company is gonna bid it again. So it's a pretty solid one. And we had one company come in under that, they just were non-responsive bid package, and so we're trying to clean up that RFP and make it better for them not to fail when they respond. Priority landscaping contract. Let's follow the bed pass, and they do a little bit of maintenance on Center Street as well. They got some Jen's plants for the blow the streets and clean the storm drains and everything. Mostly craft maintenance.
then, didn't you say you had looked at some replantings of some of the?
That's in this budget, we're just waiting on the weather to get to the right spots.
Okay.
We're gonna get it done before the end of this fiscal year.
Priority landscapers preferred vendor for the city.
We don't have preferred vendors at all. That's just who we have the current contract with. Nature's Calling is a Chamberlain Station pump out. Everybody just changing name this way. United, I think they switched to United Set Services. Used to be Nature's Calling. They do the changing station down by the washout.
Eric, do you remember the last time we bid out the landscape contract? We can look that up.
And that's another thing that kind of actually evolved, is we added one path, and then we added the landscape maintenance to go with it, and then we added another path, and we increased the landscape maintenance. It probably wouldn't be a bad time to put it back in. 15 in for third-party inspections, wait a minute, let's get one.
EC3.
Yeah, can you explain that one, Sean? or-
So, this is just the services that broken down by departments, the annual costs for specifically the people in the building facilities department. And VC3, increases every year by like 5-ish%. So, that's about it.
It's basically just us departmentalizing all the IT costs.
They're also looking at utilizing, that's technical.
Just a backup one, if they haven't gone up, I don't know why we would rebid it. If we've added pedestrian paths and other landscaping maintenance, and they haven't gone up, I don't know why you'd wanna go out and rebid it. I mean, sometimes be careful what you ask for.
True.
I think that's a reasonable thought.
We can hold off on that. And we can't rebid it without your permission, so.
Give it some thought.
I we're keeping 15 in for third-party inspections
So
and third-party.
can I go back, sorry, so at the end of the day, because like you said, this is across the board VC3, and it may be already in here somewhere, but, and I know why you decentralized it and put it in every department, but at the end of the day, can we just have the complete number, like the end number for what we're paying VC3?
So VC3 right now, we are paying $14,499.86.
For the whole, I'm talking the whole city.
So am
Can't be right.
No.
So it can't be.
You're saying a monthly?
I. Well, that is the monthly.
Oh, there we go.
Annual.
I'm like, oh my God, you know, that's bargain.
No, it's.
Why is it all coming to
Well, that's voice advantage, I apologize, I was looking at the wrong tab. Sorry, $208,754.50
Annually,
annually.
annually, every year.
Well, it also goes
Okay,
up
I'm
by
just, okay,
4%
good,
every
good.
year.
So that's annual, and and then we decentralized it.
Yeah.
And then we've said for next year, it's gonna increase this amount by the rates. That's how you projected. Okay,
And we also add anytime that there's, any additional products that team needs, we do an audit around the time that we're doing the budget, and if there are additional devices, additional services that are tied to that, we make adjustments at this time. So I went through our monthly bill and line by line, this one goes to this department, this one goes to this department. And that's how I get to these numbers.
so when you drilled out, you're down to the penny. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Still feel like it's better than having a full-time position.
Absolutely.
Less expensive.
Oh, I think that this is
Still,
probably,
you know,
this is probably.
salary plus benefits, we'd be knocking in the high 100s for one person.
The service level.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd get what we got before.
And the diversity of expertise that this city requires in IT, it's not like you can just hire one person to do that.
I think that's
a
fair.
network professional, from a software guy, from a telephone guy, they're all different
Designer,
specialties.
programmer.
What is that we do? Address anything? Eric, how close are you to being done?
I'm ready if you guys want to start again.
I'm good.
I'm good. I have another question as
All right.
far as.
Sure.
So how did we do so great in the sense of, what changed with the mixed vendor, the inspections? Did we do something staff-wise, like
Well,
why?
most of this, we brought Chris on last year.
Great.
It's been his first year.
Yep,
And I'm keeping some money in there because there are times when he's sick, I'm sick, we have conferences. Might take a vacation sometime.
so I think that's really important that we noted that actually we reduced that line a few years ago, and now we have a full-time staff member.
Right, and then it's just really a safety net to keep that in there,
Yeah,
15.
it just, so that's, yeah, perfect. Is there anything you, Eric, think in the remainder of the list is worth?
I don't, 'cause it's all standard, general maintenance kind of stuff.
I'm good.
Unless you have questions, that's really.
I've done my questions.
But we got 15 minutes. You
I got
got
15
anything
minutes.
specific you wanna talk about, or you good?
No, you just keep pushing through.
Okay.
Because, you won't lose quorum when, Lee decide to stay until 6 o'clock.
Well,
We'll make all our decisions.
one thing we wanted to do while we still guys had you in the room was get any number policies that would make a number change. Just if we can do at least the COLA one while you're still here,
The what?
the COLA.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So there are a few of these that will require changes to the budget, and we wanna try to get consensus on council.
Well,
whether we should
parking
make
too,
those
right?
changes.
I mean,
We've already
Parking's in.
reduced by 100,000.
Did you get the money for parking?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
so that's all.
You got that past this guy?
So we're gonna take the 100,000 and make that part of the budget, but we can have a separate conversation later about how we're gonna divvy out that 100,000. I mean, I think that's a
That's
fair way
fine,
to go about it.
we'll do it. I stand firm on 3%. I know that it's an obvious conversation, I'm probably outvoted on this, but
How much is the
personally-
difference?
So between 2.2 and 3%, you're looking at $49,829.
All right, so where are we right
We're right now, without COLA and without any holiday adjustments, $57,573.
Positive.
Positive.
now? So if you did both of those, it would be negative 5-ish.
I mean, since they're somewhat related in the same category, so you have COLA, and I have, the holiday.
I apologize, the holidays don't include the higher COLA. I don't have those numbers, because if we're adjusting COLA 3%, I don't have the true number
I mean,
for.
just plus 19,
Just,
1%.
it's a, yeah,
It wouldn't be that.
yeah, it's a,
Minimal, it's de minimis.
So yeah, just since we have a majority of council and just a consensus before we change a hard number in here, we'll start with the COLA.
I think it's 2.2, sorry.
It's okay, you don't have to, you don't have to apologize. The price of doing business in your household went up significantly this year. And it may go down next year, and you may revisit this, but I don't think you're setting precedent by running it to 3%. That's my personal opinion.
3.
What if we split the difference? I'm good with that, 2.75. Or, you know, whatever the between is, because I think that's a,
If I have to compromise from 3, I'm willing to do that.
I'll do a compromise, 2.6, right?
2.5.
2.7.
7,
It's 2.6.
3
2.75.
to 2,
2.75.
is 4, 2.6.
I mean,
We're
honestly.
talking about a couple $1,000.
Well, we're also.
Let's do 2 and 3/4.
Honestly, we're talking
Two and
about something in
3/4.
someone's
you go,
paycheck.
can you do 2 3/4, Bill?
I
We're,
get-
we're
2
talking
and
about,
3/4.
we're talking
It's a
about
gig
something
out.
in someone's paycheck, right?
Yes, I
That
want-
could be $27 to $33 per month.
Yeah, let's
No,
go.
I'm not being trivial with it, I think we just need to be good stewards of the money, but I think 2 3/4 is great.
I love it.
So we 2 3/4.
2.75,
2.75.
All right, so
not 3.
we will put in that change in the actual numbers in the budget. All right.
Perfect.
Next up, 2 additional holidays, approximately $20,000, because this was made for 2.2. So that's 2 additional holidays, that's an extra pay for public safety who works on those 2 holidays, approximately $20,000.
Which ones are they?
Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples' Day, President's Day, and Juneteenth.
Actually, no, right? Let me see if I get this right. We have a floating for one of those.
Correct.
So it's 2 additional holidays, and they would be, Juneteenth, and they would be Columbus Day. I mean, there's a floating one, Bill. So one of them, the floating could take one of them, and the other 2 get us to basically federal holidays. That's all it is, the federal holiday list.
There is, the city does have, Good Friday as well.
Well, that's up to you all. I wasn't going to go there,
Yeah, thanks, Lee.
okay? So, I mean,
I'm going there.
to be honest with you,
They get the Good Friday off.
you know, having like worked, you know, looked at this over the years, and everybody kind of, like, you could pull, because it's a religious holiday, Good Friday. I've never proposed it, I've just said, can we get to federal holidays?
So, kind of the same quick poll, so we know what numbers. I think there's 2 options here. Increase holidays by 1 and switch out Good Friday for the other one, which would be about $10,000, or add 2 holidays for about $20,000.
Or add 1 holiday.
Or, yeah, or add 1 and don't take away Good Friday. Yeah. That's 3 options.
I'll let you go first, Bill.
Pick one. Pick one of them and keep Good Friday.
Same here.
I want both of them, all right?
And no Good Friday or with Good Friday?
Oh, with Good Friday.
All right.
Okay, I'm picking 2, and if I have to get to 1, we pull Good Friday because it's a religious holiday and not federal.
I'm gonna keep Good Friday and pick 1.
So,
We're just
I
adding
think the
1.
majority would be
lost.
to add 1.
No,
We got 1.
Add
You got
1, keep Good Friday. Is that, okay. That's the 3. So of the 2 potential, we have the 3 we don't currently recognize. What are they again?
Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples' Day, President's Day, and then Juneteenth.
President's Day, I thought was the floater, that's why.
Well, you can use your floater for any of those 3 right
See-
now.
See, that's,
can
okay,
I-
so that's why
From
I'm
a
sorry.
staffing
Can I
point.
make
this is
a
a
recommendation? Why do we have to decide? Why can't you guys decide? Talk to your staff about it, it's the public safety, it's still, ask them what they want, okay? And, because you're getting 1 day anyway, we're
Hold the
gonna.
room behind you and see
They're right
what they
behind you,
want.
ask
Yeah,
them
if
what they
that guy,
want.
if that works for you, we'll.
I'm totally good with
Uh,
that.
I am too.
I mean, that's fine.
I like that.
In my mind, though, the float, we did away with floating. I mean, wait a minute, Wes, so,
We corrected that, and gave floating back.
Yeah.
okay.
And you had to use it on one of those 3 days.
Okay, so floating stays.
Sorry, it's been fully given back, it can be used
Oh,
any
never
day.
mind.
Okay, so say that, all right, so at the end of the day, if we have to dictate like Juneteenth, see, now we're getting into which federal holiday.
Uh-huh.
If we vote for one, we have to choose between,
Three.
let's say, the old Columbus Day and Juneteenth.
If we did all the federal holidays, they would gain 1 day vacation because they have a floater that's not including federal holidays, and they have Good Friday. So we're maintaining equality to the federal government by picking one of the other holidays.
I agree, but let them decide.
All right, so for the budget, we'll probably send one extra holiday.
And then we'll get staff to figure it out.
Staff figure out which day.
Y'all figure
And
it
not
out.
individually, not,
Right, yeah, and we'll,
not this guy wants Columbus, this guy.
when we adopt the budget, we'll have to adopt the resolution adding whichever day that is to the calendar.
But
So holidays,
It's operational.
Nobody works
for free. It's very-
everything.
Just like the, this,
we've already reduced the revenue. for
So
part-time.
where are we now? Like
So,
8:15?
It's an Oprah show.
I,
We
I
don't,
need to
we
match.
won't have
We're
that
close
right
to
now.
15, 20.
Yes, we were actually to the positives, but once we call it a holiday, that's gonna be
That's another 20.
ish,
10.
10,
Because it's only one.
10,
Okay.
So
Where were we at?
broadly, what's about that puts us plus 40?
That puts us, yeah, about 47.
All right, so right now, at this moment, we're about plus 47, approximately.
All right, what was, were there any other ones that were up for debate?
Those were the only monetary ones, to Sandspur.
I've got just a quick question I might add to it. I'm going through the tier 1, tier 2 strategic plan priorities. I'm looking at the last one here, where we can, blue and green infrastructure, focusing on city park planning, which we're doing, supporting the development of cultural and arts programming. Do we have anything for development of cultural and arts programming?
That's a broad description for Heather's. It's
Do
not
you need
anything
funding for that arts program you want to do?
Bingo, yeah.
So,
How much do you need?
is that for the non-city, I'm just
It's
phrasing
a
it this
non-city
way.
event, yeah.
So that would, I think that would be the same discussion for the History Museum as a non-city entity, they should go
It's
to
a
the
similar
CPC.
thing, but
Go to the CPC. Like the
is
cleanest.
that what they're gonna do, or do we have any funding for them?
Increase their funding by $2,000, because we already said,
Yeah,
they had
The
2 months
cleanest thing would
spent
be
this
to
year.
Bump CPCs up and ask them to go to the CPC.
that's the idea, but I'm,
What, how much do you think you need?
start it, I don't know, anywhere 2 to 5.
You wanna add, let's add 3 to the seat, whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, 3 to that, that would give us some cushion.
Community promotions.
All right, so where is the CPC funding in the budget?
That is in your
That would be
51.
Thanks again, let's
So-
at least get it started.
So that would bump up the community's promotion committee line item from 6,000 to 9,000.
Tonight.
Yes, sir.
We just added 3 to community promotions in anticipation of art,
Okay.
skill.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
No, I just, yeah, all right.
One mile, 2 weeks.
One ear was going here, the other was being bifurcated.
2 miles, 3 miles to here.
I'm incapable of doing that, as you might have noticed.
We're not gonna go to where I'm going right now. The only other thing, Mr. Mayor, is I do think we need to revisit the conversation on the public notice allotment for each of the council members.
The discretionary.
The discretionary funds that we, have the ability to prioritize for nonprofits. And I would like to see it restored back to where it was.
Where are we now? We added some back.
It was
You
72.
cut it by $3,600.
Went to 36.
Previously 72.
We got that.
I might see it go back. There's enough diversity in this room between the council members that have support for, I think, innovative opportunities, and I think it would be nice to see that go back to where it was. I don't know how it went there, but I'd like to see it go back.
I agree with that, but I also have a policy question. I think we need to be clear that 501c3s, 501c4s qualify, because that's a continuous question that I get. So we do go through a process, but I don't think there's an exact policy. So, I mean, it's not I mean, I agree with keeping it at 12, but
We can certainly get you guys a policy.
And we've talked about that. The part of the issue is some of these groups out here just aren't listed, you know.
Right.
They don't have that, so.
some vetting process.
I would
know
like
it's
to.
not a budgetary conversation, but
I'm just teasing.
Later on,
Yeah.
12 is good. I just
where
want
we
to
get to
I'd like to
things
see that
like
yourself.
the garden club.
So if we take it from 36, just double it to 72.
72.
There we go. It makes
Same
sense.
as last year. Or same as this year.
All right. Any more you want to hit before you leave, Dr. Holiday?
No, I'm very happy.
I'd like to hear that.
I mean, I'm very happy, especially on the record, since we talked about that is a placeholder for the STR, study, because again, we don't know what it's gonna cost, and we don't wanna be cherry picking saying, oh, it's 25,001, no, we can't do it. I just wanna make sure it's on the record, saw it in the minutes,
Right.
and what's in the minutes, just, that's all.
So what happens, you have to reduce revenue now by 36,000?
Or,
We're 36 getting good?
they're 100.
You could add it back, you could reduce revenue, or you could add it back into something that got cut. You could juice up one of Eric's capital projects, you could.
And what was the final?
So, once we adjusted COLA a little bit, that adjusted downward, a little downward, so I'm looking at about $18,973 right now, roughly.
After
the positive.
Doc's
After all this
recent,
After all this stuff. So we got about 18
Pretty
grand.
good about
Close to
That's
that.
really good on $13 million budget.
Well, just about what we're gonna do.
For the folks who are staying, do you guys want Heather to come back and talk about her contract labor savings? I can
I'd like
tell
to
you,
hear, yeah.
she emailed me.
We talked a lot about when she came up to the office, and some of it's gonna be trying to get the promotion of some of her activities up. Right now, her bandwidth is just
So just for the breakdown, so she has asking for about $22,000 for a part-time position. And last year, she used $7,000 worth of party butlers, $6,000 worth of staff overtime, and her overtime fees were about $7,500. So counting her overtime, general staff volunteering overtime, and the party butlers, approximately $20,500, approximately. I did write her back specifically, if council approves the part-time position, will it offset all of these? And she said, I may still have to ask staff help for certain events. But she can't quantify how much less, but
I'd rather triple the amount we spend on party butlers than add positions.
I don't think all of it though is like for events is my point. She needs help like
Across the board.
day-to-day kind of admin stuff as opposed to just breaking down and making stuff up.
Minutia.
Yeah.
It's like when you add 21,000 for a position, I like to see at least some in-kind savings on the other end, and this one doesn't really have that.
well, it's about 20,000 of overtime and party butlers.
And
It's about
staff.
$7,000 of party butlers.
Well, yeah, plus
So the
overtime.
7,000 goes away, then you
Could
got
be
overtime,
3,500.
which I'm not confident will be eliminated. I had that conversation with you before, I know, no, never mind. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be unusual about the fact that I agree with Bill, in the sense of, Bill, my thing is I think actually, and I support this budget, but at this point, to have actually a job description, I'd need more information from Heather, I think,
Yeah, and the
to be
job
really
description-
truthful, and So at this point, when I also, the thing about this is we've increased it across the board, which is amazing. We also, when we look at the actuals, like, the actuals, again, are pretty low compared to 2 more months left. You know, and every year, you know, we have increased, so that's where I'm just, I really hesitate. Right now, we're at, in March, you know, we're at 70,000. And last year's, when you see the tracking, we're like 90. So I'm hesitant to go for,
River Dogs are.
I'm hesitant to increase that budget.
And I think I think we are going, maybe she needs to be here. I think part of her part-time person is to help her spend the money. She's at capacity as a single
I'll
person
help her.
partner.
Well, I mean,
So we are gonna, it does look like, I know 3 of you can stay. We can either plug along and get Heather back up here today, or since we're probably gonna need another meeting just to summarize what just happened, we can pick up.
We can probably do the summarization on email, and I would be fine. We'll figure it out next year. You know, if there's any money we're gonna spend, it should be on the community promotions, I mean, the community outreach. She's done really great with that, and even if it's extra, I can't think of any better place to spend extra than growing that department and putting more services out to our community that serves our citizens. I think in the last 3 years, we've really improved the quality and the quantity of what we provided citizens. And for 21,000, I'll do a wait and see next year and see if that staff overtime
He's out of the gate
reduces.
for 1 year budgeting, and then going back next year to see if.
you mean,
Return on
I didn't, so you do want right now the part-time position?
Yeah. I can't think of a better place to
So-
do a wait and see. Because if it
No,
does
I'm only-
eliminate, but I wanna see next year if the overtime was eliminated with staff, if her overtime was cut down, and if programming got to be more close to what we budget for.
But we're okay hiring that person?
Yeah.
And if needed, we can
I'll give
treat
her
it like
pass
a
next year.
grant hire and let the person know it's a 1 year.
Well, that was my only,
Yeah.
that's my only thing. If it's a pilot kind of grant, the commitment is,
I think we can definitely use that when we hire them. I think it's fairly common to hire folks on grant funded positions, so we can sort of model it on that.
That's incentive to
If
sell.
staff knows what the criteria is, then they know. If staff continues to use overtime to the tune of like 14,000, then they're really saying we don't need the extra person. But
there is a cause and effect that I agree with.
Next year, we'll know that number.
So-
It's good.
everybody knows at the very beginning, this is contingent on positive numbers for next year.
So we'll do an email summary with the new total. We still have $9,000 to distribute. And so I think we might need one more short work session just to finalize and get into a balanced budget. We'll reach out to y'all
Can you make
next
a
week.
recommendation? Can we do this by email, or do we have to?
We need to meet in person.
That's what you, I mean,
When's the latest we can do that, Lee?
Just pull that schedule up here.
And you're out.
Before the June meeting, when I come back for $9,000.
Just plus up some fuel.
Alright, so we have to advertise a balanced budget on May 21st, which is next week. So if there's just a time next week where we can get you guys in the
I'm
room
out.
for a short meeting.
Could it be smart to plus up some fuel and then be done
Well,
with
in
it
that
since
case,
it's
we
a
can
small
just
amount?
balance it right now by,
well, I mean, I know my last stand, and so forgive me. One more holiday, then everybody wins.
Or extra fuel.
There you go.
so just so we know what we're gonna add that $8,000 to, $9,000 to, fuel or a holiday?
Fuel.
Fuel.
Holiday.
Alright, so we're gonna redistribute that throughout all the fuel accounts, and that'll give us a balanced budget. Once Lee gets these finalized into a balanced budget, we'll email that out to you guys, we'll post it on the internet as a draft, and then we'll advertise it in the paper.
And I know this was a lot this week, but I really appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, staff.